Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Fringe check, download today. Fringes is a new mobile app designed to meet, mix, and post with Torah keepers like you. That's right. How pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity? Bring it out. Fringes is available on Google Play and the App Store. Fringe check, download today. Fringes is a new mobile app designed to meet, mix, and post with Torah keepers like you. That's right. How pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity? Bring it out. Fringes is available on Google Play and the App Store.
YERUSHALEM, the city of YAH. Once again, today's show is entitled YERUSHALEM, the city of YAH. My special guest is standing by. We're going to bring him in a few minutes. So I just want to remind everybody, next week we have the hot seat going on right here on Debate Talk Free Radio. We're going to have Zion Alex in the hot seat. For those that are new to the show, the hot seat is where we invite a special guest, and you, the listening audience, can call in with your questions and your comments live for 60 minutes or more. So if you want to call in, and you know Zion Alex, you see him on YouTube, you see him in lectures. If you want to ask him a question, you never got a chance to ask him anything, on Monday, next week, it will be your chance to finally ask your question. So we're going to have Zion in the hot seat, Zion Lex, right here on Debate Talk Radio. Make sure you keep it locked. All right, without further ado, let me introduce my special guest. My special guest is back for the second time presenting a lesson right here on Debate Talk Radio. This is Kolayah. Welcome to the show.
Shalom, shalom. How are you, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, man, hanging in there, brother. Praising the mighty YAH. Giving thanks and praise to his name and for the many blessings that he's given us, man. Thanking, praising y'all for the fact that my daughter had her 14th birthday today, and I wasn't going to be here to see it, but the Most High made a way for me to see it. So I just give thanks and praise for that, man, and just having the family and for the opportunity once again to come before the people.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate you being here and the blessings upon you. All right, so let's get this thing started, family. Again, the number is 319-527-6239. Calling via phone, calling via Skype, calling via Google Voice. That's an app that you can download, Google Voice. Or you can call with another app called Talkatone if you have any questions or comments. All right, Kolayah, take it away.
Well, praising the mighty YAH, giving all thanks and praise unto his name and to his name alone, giving thanks and praise to all his glorious and wonderful works, and giving praise to him that we might make known to men his mighty acts and his glorious majesty of his kingdom. Shout out to my elder, Brother Ouidah, who's going to be my reader today. This brother gave me... Shalom, brother. You ready?
I'm ready.
Brother, go ahead and shout out the network and let the people know about your platform, brother.
Yeah, this Ouidah Israel. Shout out to RTR, scattered abroad, and we looking up here, Resurrection and Remnant, trying to gather our people together to go home. Long.
Praise the mighty YAH. Well, today we're going to get started with our lesson. And today we're speaking of YERUSHALEM, the city of YAH. Once again, we're speaking of YERUSHALEM, the city of YAH. Now, why is that important? Why are we speaking of this particular city? There's a lot of teachings out there in the world that we're living in. But I want to speak directly to my people, Israel, so that you can know what your expected end should be. Focus should be on what your hope should be set in. And we're speaking of the capital. We're speaking of the place where the soles of the Most High's feet says is placed there. We're speaking of the fact that this is where his house is at. But more importantly, this is where the Most High placed his name at. And we're going to show through Scripture today that Jerusalem is the capital. Jerusalem is the place where the Most High is gathering his people. I know that some of our people have been raised in the Christian church, that we're going to die and go to heaven and walk around heaven all day. But the Scripture says differently. And today we're going to bring that out. So let's go ahead and get started with our lesson. We're going to start in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 43. And Elder Ouidah is going to read for us verses 1 through 7.
Okay. It says, afterwards he brought me to the gate, even the gate that looketh toward the east. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like a noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. And it was according to his appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the visions that I saw by the river Kabar, and I fell upon my face, and the glory of the Most High came into the house of the way of the gate, whose prosper is toward the east. So the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court, and behold, the glory of the Most High filled the house. And I heard his speaking unto me out of the house. And the man stood by me, and he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel, and my holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses of their kings in their high places.
Praise the mighty Yah for his wonderful word. Now, why did we start in this particular book? Why did we start in the scroll of Ezekiel? Well, the reason why we started here was a Levite, and he was a priest. He was a Kohen. But more importantly, this particular brother, this particular prophet, was in captivity. And today we are in captivity. And the important thing about this is that Ezekiel saw in a vision, if you go back into Ezekiel 8 through 10, the Most High's presence leaves the house. Ezekiel saw the fact that we were going to go through a great ordeal. The presence of the Most High had literally left his people. Let's look at that for a second to deal with that. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 10. So we can show how important this is and why this particular vision is so important for us. Let's go here. Sorry. I'm sorry, people. Give me a second here. I got a little distracted. Sorry, give me a second. Well, to set the tone of what we're saying here is that the Most High, he saw the sins of the people. He saw the whoredoms that was committed. And actually, we're going to go into Ezekiel chapter 8. And let's read from verses 1. Don't mind. Go ahead, brother.
And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, and the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Most High Yah fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward. fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of a hand, and took me by a lock of my head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the vision of YAH to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy. And behold, the glory of YAH of Israel was there according to the vision that I saw in the plain. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thy eyes now the way toward the north. So I lift up my eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, see thou what they do, even the great abomination that the house of Israel cometh here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see great abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creepy things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Isaiah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, The Most High seeth us not. The Most High hath forsaken the earth.
Read down to verse 14.
He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that ye do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Most High house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Now, I know that we changed gears a little bit, but it's important that we go to this particular chapter, and then we're going to go into chapter 10. But the thing about it is that this vision of jealousy was brought into the Most High's house. This images and the many secret sins that the nation, that the elders were involved in, had angered the Most High. Because of that anger, the Most High took his presence from the temple. We have to remember that the ark of the Most High, or his throne, rested there in Jerusalem. And today, we have many idols. We have this image of Tammuz in the Most High's house. And it applies today because we can find many similarities between the Christ of the New Testament and Tammuz. We've begun to replace the Most High and put an idol in front of the people and call it worship. And what happened was that the Most High, he began to get upset. He was already upset. And what did he do? He took his presence from the temple, the very place where we're going to go back into in Kings, where his presence filled the house. And it was so serious that the priests couldn't even minister in the house because how the presence of the Most High filled the house. And why is that important? Because, again, this is the throne of YAH. This is his capital. This is the place where we are looking to return to. this is the place where we shall see all the covenants that the Most High spoke to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob fulfilled. Now, let's go into Ezekiel 10. And we're going to read verses 4 through, I want to say, let's read it down to 18, and I'll read it from here, my brother.
Okay.
Then the glory of God went up from the cherub and stood over the threshold of the house. And the house was filled with the cloud, and the court was full of the brightness of Yah's glory. So understand this, that Jerusalem, the court, this was where David had in his heart to build a house for the Most High. This is where Solomon dedicated the house of the Most High. This is where the Kohanes went to meet the Most High. On the Day of Atonement, this is where they went before. This is where the Most High sanctuary was. This very place. And here in the vision that Ezekiel is having in Ezekiel 10, he's seeing the Most High in this place. And the sound of the cherubims, picking up at verse 5, and the sound of the cherubims' wings was heard even to the outer court, as the voice of the Almighty Elohim when he speaketh. And it came to pass that when he had commanded the man clothed with linen between the wheels, from between the cherubims, then he went in and stood beside the wheels. And one cherub stretched forth his hand from between the cherubims into the fire that was between the cherubims, and took thereof and put it into the hands of him that was clothed with linen, who took it and went out. And there appeared in the cherubims the form of a man's hand under their wings. And when I looked, behold, the four wheels of the cherubims, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was as the color of beryl stone. And as for their appearances, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and the wheels were full of the eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. As for the wheels, it cried unto them in my hearing, O wheel. And every one had four faces. The first face was the face of a cherub, and the second face was the face of a man, and the third face the face of a lion, and the fourth face the face of an eagle. And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river Kebar. And when the cherubims went, and the wheels went by them, and when the cherubims lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. When they stood, these stood. And when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also, for the spirit of the living creature was in them. Then the glory of Yah departed from off the threshold of the house and stood over the cherubims. And the cherubims lifted up their wings and mounted up from the earth in my sight when they went out. The wheels also beside them. And everyone stood at the door of the east gate of Yah's house, and the glory of the Elohim of Israel was over them above. This is the living creature that I saw under the Elohim of Israel by the river of Chebar, and I knew that they were the cherubims. Now, what we have here is that the Most High is getting ready to depart. He's taking his presence from Jerusalem. He's allowing Nebuchadnezzar and the other nations to come in and completely destroy the people. Now, Jerusalem, why is that key to this particular deal? Why is that key to what we read in Ezekiel 40? What we saw in Ezekiel 43 was a restoration. It was the complete restoration of what is to come for Israel. We're not dying and going to heaven, people. We're looking for the land. We're looking for the place. We're looking to be gathered. We're looking to be one. we're looking to go to the city of the Most High. Now, let's go and show proof that Jerusalem is the place where the Most High has placed his name. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 60. Pick up at verse 11. Brother Elwin, could you read that for me?
Okay. It says, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nations and kingdoms that will not serve thee shall perish. Ye, those nations, shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet gloriously. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Most High, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel.
Now, we go back and we would read from starting at verse 1. This particular chapter speaks of the restoration of Israel. It speaks of the fact that nations shall bring the sons and daughters of the Most High to the city of YAH, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. It says that strangers would gather, would bring us in. They're going to build up our nation, that they're going to donate to this. Israel is going to be restored. That's what we're looking for. We are looking for the restoration. We are looking for the place of our being. See, we've been separated. We've been in captivity for so long that we've lost the love of our own land. We've seen people come in and infiltrate the land. They won't even show you today the black so-called, what they call them, Palestinians that are in the land of Israel. And don't get it twisted when they speak of the Weeping Wall and all these various places where you see the media showing Jerusalem at. They're not truly showing you the places where the Most High has his name at. They're not going to show you the fact that the Christian church came in and named most of these places and gave them their landmarks. They're not going to tell you the fact that this is your home, and not just that little bitty stretch of land, and not just the fact that Jerusalem is Africa. Jerusalem is what most folks is calling the motherland. But this is the Father's land. This is the land that the Most High promised to us. And we got to stop. We got to stop as brothers and sisters the hate and the ignorance that we have toward Africa. Especially the fact that that is where our home is. That is where they took us from. We have to understand the fact that this is where the Most High placed his name at. Now, I'm not saying all over Africa, but the fact that Jerusalem is Northeast Africa. His name is there. And we have to show some type of love toward our people, and they in turn likewise have to as well. See, Jerusalem is a place of peace. It's the place where justice is administered. The righteous reign and rule. It's going to be a place of instruction for the nations. That's why it's important for us, Israel, right now to get it together. To get on one accord. And if it takes somebody's feelings being hurt, then so be it. But we have to tell you the truth. We have to learn how to be truthful with one another. We have to understand that everything is not about what we call in competition. What we're doing right now, today, brother, somebody's mic is giving some interference. what we're doing now today with all the debates and all the various platforms is beautiful. But we have to learn that we got to come together. And Jerusalem signifies the place of unity, restoration. You shouldn't be comfortable in the land of your captivity. You shouldn't feel right at home in the very place where they've tried to take away your history. But the Most High is so merciful and so wonderful that we live in a digital age now to where there's no excuse for you not to know what's right and wrong when it comes to the words of the Most High. There's no excuse for you not to know what to expect. What is your expected end? What are you looking for? Is it a house? Is it a car? Is it things? Is it notoriety? Or are you looking for the place or the land where we belong? Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 1 to show you the various descriptions of this place called Jerusalem, or YERUSHALEM, the city of YAH. Let's go to Isaiah 1, at verse 21, and we're going to read it down to 26.
Okay. It says, how is the faithful city become a harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers.
Stop right there. The Most High is asking a question. How has the faithful city become a harlot? How has the faithful city broken its covenant with the Most High? How has the faithful city removed itself from their husbands? See, in Jeremiah, the Most High said he was a husband unto us.
Mm-hmm.
But now here in Isaiah, he's calling us a harlot. So I'm asking Israel today, are you involved in harlotry? Have you forgotten that we were the faithful city? We were the faithful people. We are the people of the covenant. The land is tied to the covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Jerusalem is part of your covenant. It's part of the promises. The Most High didn't give people a spiritual land. He gave you a physical place. He gave you land, rivers, streams, all the things that you need. The Most High has it. Continue reading, brother.
It says, thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water, thy prince are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and falleth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither do the cause of the widow come unto them. Therefore saith the Most High, Yah of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of my adversaries and avenge me of my enemies, and I will turn my hand upon thee, and purely purge away the dross and take away all thy pen, and I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterwards thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Zion, go ahead
and read that. Go ahead and read that.
Okay, he says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness.
Now, let's look at something for a minute. The Most High says that he's going to avenge himself of his enemies or his adversaries. But then he also says that he's going to purely purge away thy dross, take away all the tin. So the Most High right now is in the process of purging us. The Most High is in the process of pleading with us in the wilderness, in the various places of our captivities, whether we're here in the United States, in the UK, in the Caribbean, in Australia, and so-called Africa, Europe, Finland, Switzerland, you name it, they took us. And what we as Israel have to begin to look for is the righteousness of the law, is the righteousness of the Most High. The Most High ways are perfect. We don't have to add to his law. We don't have to subtract from his law. We don't have to guess what's right and what's wrong. The Most High has been on record. But what the Most High says is important in verse 26 of Isaiah 1. He says that he's going to restore thy judges at first and thy counselors at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called what? The city of righteousness, the faithful city. How can we be a city of righteousness? How can we be a people of faithfulness when we are involved in harlotry? When we have the various idols in our lives, follow and turn our back on the Most High. Some of our people know the truth, know that they're Israelites, but yet they choose something different. Some of our people believe that they're going to die and go to heaven. When the Most High and his prophet, through his prophet, said that he was going to restore Jerusalem. He even mentions that David shall be their king. David's not going to be ruling from heaven. David is going to be ruling here on the earth. We have to stop pretending. We have to get serious about what we're reading. Let's go to Isaiah 2, and let's pick up at verse 1 and read down to verse 6.
Okay. It says, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of the Most High house shall be established in the top of the mountains. It shall be exalted above the hills. All nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of YAH, of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the words of the Most High from Jerusalem.
Hang tight right there. The Most High says that many people should go and come and say, let us go up to the mountain of Yah, to the house of the Elohim of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem. Jerusalem is going to be the epicenter of the creation. It's going to be the focal point of all the nations. The Most High is not going to destroy the earth and create another one. He's not doing that. He's going to bring all his enemies to their knees. The Most High is going to make sure that Israel is the epicenter, that Israel is the one who instructs the nations. New moons will still be here. Sabbaths will still be here. Feast days will still be here. Remember, the Most High called the sun and the moon as a witness of the covenant. Now, if he was to destroy that, that means that the covenant would be destroyed. See, we have to learn how to trust the words of Yah. We have to understand that Israel has a duty It's interesting that here that the people said, come and let us go to the mountain of Yah. Well, where did the Most High make his covenant with the nation of Israel? Mount Sinai. And then he says, to the house of the Elohim of Jacob. Then the Most High goes from the mountain to a house. He's reminding Israel. He's taking Israel back from where we started to where we're going. Remember, the covenant was instituted. The Most High made himself a husband to us at Mount Sinai. Then he was faithful to us to bring us to the point to where we were no longer worshiping him in a tent in Shiloh, where his name was there at too, because his covenant, his ark was there as well. It was the tabernacle of witness. But then the Most High establishes a place forever with Jerusalem. So we have to understand that. So then he says, out of Zion shall go forth the law. There's not going to be a doing away with the law. The nations are still going to have to be taught what's right and wrong. Israel is going to have to go through a purging process. See, we have to understand, what we think we know, we might not know. See, we're going to have to get our years straight again, our days and nights straight again. We're going to have to get back on the same page as YAH, because we are in the land. You are in the land of your captor, and there's certain things that we can't do. I brought up this point last week, and I'll say it again. What is liberation for those of us who call ourselves the sons and daughters of Abraham, who say we are from the house of Jacob? What is liberation for Israel? Let's go to Exodus chapter 4, so we can understand what true liberation is for the house of Israel. Let's start at verse 21. Go ahead, my brother. We're going to read it down to, let's get it 21 to 23.
Okay. It said, and the Most High said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Most High, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise Yah.
Said that Israel has a designation. It's not for us just to go out here and hurt, and it's not for us to destroy one another. The destination is not for you to become the next superstar here in America or in the Caribbean or in the UK or whatever. Israel's destination is to serve the Most High. That is our liberation. Where we can come from the land of our captivity, be in the presence of the Most High continually. That is liberation for Israel, not anything else. Israel's in a state of stupor right now, and it's a serious matter. This is not the time for fun and games right now. This is the time that Israel has to become very serious and dedicated into our walk with the Creator, because we are set aside to worship and honor the Creator. Nothing else is acceptable in the eyes of the Most High. The Most High said we were to be let go so that we could serve Him. And so you can't serve the Creator in total fullness according to the law when we're in the land of our captors. When you're in the land of the very same people who will give you another book and give you another deity and give you another identity and call you all these proverbs and bywords, they won't even honor you in this land. They won't even give you the respect. They'll call you a color. Consider you 3/5 according to their constitution. What true rights do you have? What true liberation do you have just here in the United States, not including the various other nations where we've been scattered? This is why Jerusalem is important. This is why we need to turn our eyes and face Jerusalem, no matter where you're located at in the world. You need to set your eyes, set your heart on Jerusalem. Now, we spoke earlier and said that the land is tied to the covenant. And we understand that Jerusalem is part of the land. So let's go to Deuteronomy 14. And Elder Ouidah, anytime you want to bring something forth, please, brother, be my guest.
Okay, I appreciate that, bro.
Okay. Would you like to particularly deal with this particular portion of Scripture, and I'll switch places with you and be the reader, or you leave me continue?
You can continue.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, brother, with verses chapter 14 of Deuteronomy.
Okay.
From 23 to 26.
Mm-hmm. It says, "And thou shalt eat before the Most High thy God, in a place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, and the firstling of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Most High thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Most High thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Most High thy God has blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go unto the place which the Most High thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desire, and thou shalt eat there before the Most High thy God, and thou shalt rejoice thou in thy household." Selah.
Praise the mighty YAH. Now we're seeing right here from the great mighty prophet Moses, peace be upon him, the fact that he says that we're supposed to be eating before the Most High, our Elohim, not nobody else. We are supposed to be in the very presence of the Most High, bringing him the yield that he's given us. See, our whole way of life has been taken away from us. Notice, the Most High says, "The tithes of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, and the firstlings of thy herds and thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear YAH, thy Elohim." How many times? Always.
Always.
And how can you do that when you're not in the presence of your Father? It's just like a child. And all parents should be able to relate to this. You know, when you leave, most of us little Israelites like to cut up when mom and daddy's not in the house. As they say, when the cat's away, the mice will play. But when mom and daddy's in place, the kids going to do their best to do right. And the problem with Israel today is that we're not eating before the Most High space. We literally are not in the very place that we're not in the very place. We've never seen complete liberation. This generation, these last four generations that have been here in America and throughout the Caribbeans, in the various places we've been scattered, we have never seen Israel in liberation. We've been on the run since 70 A.D. We haven't had a place to where we can call it our home. Of course, we've established various places throughout Africa. If you want to look at the Limba tribe and the God tribe and the various other places, and for those of you who have that information, call in and share it. We've never had that sense of peace. We've always had to look over our shoulder or be worried about this. After you got one bill paid, you got another hammer to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the problem. This is the things that are a thorn in the side of the people, and the Most High put that thorn in your side so that you would learn to fear Him. So that we would learn to return to the covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, read verse 24 from Deuteronomy 14, please, for me.
Deuteronomy 24, 14, verse 24.
Yes, sir.
And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Most High thy God shall choose to set His name there, when the Most High thy God has blessed thee.
Then go ahead and read verse 25 because it continues. That same continues.
Then shalt thou turn it into money and bind up the money in thy hand, and shalt thou go unto the place which the Most High thy God shall choose.
Now, let's ask the question. Is the Church of the Fallen Dove the place of the Most High?
No.
Is the place where we got 30 Baptist churches on one street where the Most High has placed His name at? Absolutely not.
No.
Is the various other places where we have the various other idols the place where the Most High has placed His name at for you to so-called go worship?
No.
The Most High's name is written in Jerusalem. Moshe was already speaking of a place where we would be able to call our own.
Selah.
That's the desire of Israel. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. I just want to just leave off from where you left off, right? And it's very good that the brother brought out this information about Jerusalem, because whether we know it or not, us as black people in America who are really the true people that y'all chose are tied to this land due to the fact that y'all had made a covenant with our ancestors. So it's very important for us to take this serious, that we are not only bound by the covenant in order to keep the law. Because, see, what he's telling you right now, the land is like an inheritance to us. It was promised to us through from YAH to our ancestors, which make us rightful heir. Now, due to the fact that we have strangers in that land, we know there's no one can live in that land and prosper. And I'd like to take you to 2 Kings 17 and 27 and show you what the brother says, that land is only heir to the people that it was given to, not to no one else but Israel. So I want to go to Second Kings and show you when it came to the other nations living in the land, they had to be taught on how to live in the land. Let's go to 2 Kings 17. And
what would you like for me to read for you, brother?
We can start at 27.
Okay. And where you want me to stop at?
And let's stop at 30.
All right, Elder, I got you. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry thither one of the priests, whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the Elohim of the land. Then one of the priests, whom they carried away from Samaria, came, and he dwelt in Bethel, how they should fear YAH. Howbeit, every nation made deities of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Sukkot Benot, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, and the Avites made Nibhaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire to Adrammelech and the gods of the Sepharim. So they feared YAH, and made unto themselves the lowest of the priests of the high places was sacrificed for them in the houses of the high places. Want me to keep going?
You can stop right there.
Okay.
So that was to show you right there that no other people have tied to that land. That land is given as an inheritance to the people that YAH chose. And this is why we saying it's very important that not only are we bind to the land, but the law is given to us. Because when you read Psalms 147, 19 and 20, YAH say he never know no other nation but Israel. The law was always given to us. You see what I'm saying? And this day and time, right, we see a lot of prophecies that's been taking place where YAH prophesied that will take place. Check out, when you look at Zechariah 12, when Trump went and made Jerusalem the capital of Israel, where YAH says anyone who burdened himself with that land, that he was going to do what? Cut them into pieces. The Palestinians and Israeli people are fighting over land that's not even theirs. This is how important it is for us to get right with YAH, to get back home. Now, I would like to also show you how important it is that the law that's constituted to our people is very important for us to abide in the law in order to be back into the land. Because, see, this is more like of an inheritance, like I said. And it's just like you got stipulations on getting your inheritance. Therefore, YAH says if you ain't going to keep my laws, you're not going to be in my land. You see what I'm saying? So let's go to Ezekiel 36. And I want to have my brother read and show you that not only the land is important, but the law is important just as well. And this is where, like I said, man, when you look at us going back and forth with trying to understand who we are and try to do what's right, what YAH told us, we back and forth with each other. And if a man is not willing to humble himself to know the truth and understand what's right, we always going to be in total chaos. So let me show you how the law is important in order for us to be back in the land. Let's go to Ezekiel 36, right? And let's start at verse 24, and then we'll stop at 31. Can you read that for me, brother?
Yes, sir, I've got you. Ezekiel 36,
Yep.
starting verse 24 down to 31.
Yes, sir.
All right. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give you an heart of flesh, and will it will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. And I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I will call you corn, and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. And I will multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, that ye shall receive no more reproach of famine among the heathen. Then shall ye remember your own evil ways, and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations.
Selah. So right here, this showing you that the law is never done away with. I don't care how people say that you saved by grace, being in your captivity. The law is never done away with. And this is, like I said, it's letting you know that the law is very important for us to come back home. Without the law, it's like what he said. Yah is purging his people. Yah is here fulfilling this prophecy. And if you don't believe that we are the people of Yah, I'm going to say this, right? Check it out. You read Exodus 20:5, it says, thou shalt not bow down to them, swear them, for I, the Lord, am a jealous God, visiting iniquity of the fathers of the third and fourth generation. Yah is here purging this earth. He's purging Judah and Israel. And we could show you that in Amos 2. He's going to let you know that since you transgressed his law, I'm going to kill you. This is what we're dealing with. So, right now, the prophecy what y'all spoke up in Genesis 15 and 13 came true. And what the brother is saying, in order for us to get back home, we got to be willing to do right. And that's the only way we going to see home. Micah 2:10 tells you, said, this is not your place of rest. These people don't love us. They care nothing for us. They can laugh and smile in our face, and before you know, somebody be pulling a gun on us and shooting our kids. See, the thing is, it's time to look at things serious. Understand, why is it that out of all the nations, our people are the only one being mistreated? Our people are the only one being killed and raped in this country. Why do we have that? And see, if you're not asking yourself that, and you're not concerned with that, then there's always going to be a problem with Israel. There's always going to be a problem with Israel. We are tied with the land. No matter how you see it, you may agree or disagree, but that land is ours. It was given to our ancestors. We belong there. So how you ever disagree with Africa, Africa is your home. I'm cool. I could just get back to reading, brother. I'm cool.
Praise the mighty Yah. That is wisdom spoken from an elder. Now, I want to say...
Let you know, gentlemen, sorry about that. Just let you know, gentlemen, we got some social media questions whenever you get a chance. And for the audience out there, if you have any questions, I see we got a lot of people on the phone lines. You know that number, 319-527-6239, press number 1, and that'll let me know that you got a question. But we do have social media questions whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Go ahead with the first question.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the questions. Let me see. And thanks for those people out there that's listening to the show on Facebook. We appreciate the family. All right. First question I see, it says, Israel right now has internal wars with the Muslims. Are you an advocate for our people here in America to move to the land today?
No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I'm saying not to necessarily move to the land today is because it's no better for our people there than it is here. Just look at what they're doing to the Ethiopians who have went into the land. Many of them are committing suicide. They went from bad to worse. The only time I would consider us returning into the land is when the Most High gathers us. So, no, I don't advocate for that in this particular juncture. The time will come, and we'll know when the time will come, because the Most High will make a way for us to dwell safely in the land, not have to watch your back and watch your step at every time.
Yeah, I got another one over there. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead, Ouidah. You can respond.
No, I agree with him. I'm rocking with him.
All right, I got another one over here. It sounds like you already answered it, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says, some of our people are fleeing to the land because of this same research that you have discovered. Are the people that are going to the land today making a big mistake? Should we wait until certain current events occur before we return to the land? Because there's people out there, as you already know, that's already going to the land right now, but with the same research. So what do you say to that guy?
Well, and it's kind of vague when they say the land. I don't know if they're saying we're going to a different part or going to Israel. I'm not going to say that they're making the biggest mistake of their life because I'm not in control of their life. But what I will say is that you're still going to have to find a way to survive there. You're still going to have to find a way to where you can be stable. And just the whole complexion, the whole situation over there, it's not a place of peace. It's a place of war right now. It's a place of great strife and racism. And we know that there's something shaking in the earth because most of the inhabitants that are there are trying to get out of there. We have to be very careful. But if you make that move, hey, the Most High be with you. Who am I to say that somebody can't go there and thrive? But as a whole, for our people, we have to wait on the Creator.
Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, just to let you know, I have somebody coming on the show in about 2 weeks doing a show promoting going to the land today. Sister Talia is going to do a class promoting going to the land today. So, yeah. So this one is kind of like in relation to this one. So I hear you, man. Nobody else is pressing number 1 right now. So, again, people, if you want to have any questions or comments, you know that number, 319-527-6239. Just press number 1, and we'll add you in. Continue, fellas.
And I wanted to add to, when it comes out going back to Israel, Yah says he has to purge the land. He got to cleanse the land from all the wickedness that was done into the land. And if you read the book of Lamentations, they're speaking about the land, what's being done into the land, how the strangers have defiled the land. They done corrupted the land. So now, Yah said, even before we attempt to make a move in order going back to Israel, the land must be cleansed before we return. That's what I got to say.
Praise the mighty Yah. Was it okay to continue, Sal, or you got any callers? Or?
No, I'll continue. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. All right. Now, we're going to go over to, we're going to stay in the same book of prophecy, or the same prophet, Ezekiel, and we're going to go over to chapter 37.
Okay.
And I want to show you the fact that and I know we've kind of we're talking about Jerusalem. The focus is still Jerusalem, but I want the people to understand something, that your hope isn't lost. See, what Israel needs today is hope. It needs to know we're not wishing upon a star. We're not, rolling the dice with our life. If you trust Yah, you need to know that He will come through. The Most High will make a way out for you. And the Most High said He's already redeemed us. He's already forgiven, but we have to, at the same time, know that we are still on the road to Zion. In these places of our captivity, this is what the Most High says in Ezekiel 37. Let's read verses 10 through 12.
Okay.
Actually, part of verse 9.
Okay. It says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Most High Yah, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off from our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Most High Yah, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel.
Listen to what the prophet, the Most High, is saying through the prophet Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is saying that in verse 10, he was commanded, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and they stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Israel, we can't do things in bits and pieces. We can't have some of the people in the land and then the rest of the people out of the land. We can't have some of the people doing what's right and then the other half of the people doing what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The whole house of Israel, the Most High said he said they stood up an exceeding great army. But what had to happen first? In verse 9, he says, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Life is in the Most High. Nobody else been slain. Israel. How have we been slain? We've been taken from the homeland. We've been given bad statutes to live by.
Mm-hmm.
We've been given various deities. We've been given a whole nother way of life. The mindset of Jerusalem, the city of YAH, is not even in the mindset of most of our people. We're trying to be the next great pop singer, the next great basketball player. I was one of the dudes who wanted to be the next great football player, forgetting the source of my life. Totally ignoring the true cause. Remember, I said liberation is for us to serve the Most High. And right here, we're looking at us being restored.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11 says, what now, my brother? Read that verse again in verse 11.
In verse 11, it says, then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts.
Wow. Listen to that, Israel. The Most High, the nation right now, we feel totally hopeless. But we're here to restore some hope tonight. We're here to restore some focus tonight. We're here to let you know that the Most High has a place for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to let you know that the Most High has an expectation for you, to let you know that you're not hopeless, that you're not lost, that your sons and daughters can be reached. The young brothers and sisters who are out here killing each other in the streets, our young sisters who are out here doing whatever for the love of a man. for the various negative role models that our young people are faced with today, even our older generation. Your hope is not lost. I know your bones feel dried up. I know when we take a look in our communities, we think we don't see the hand of the Most High, but actually you are. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow because some of us have lost sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, uncles, best friends. But here you are, fortunate today to be here, to be able to read the word of the Most High and understand that the Most High has a place for you, and it's not heaven. That is something that was given to you by your captors. They took the love of the land away from you. They taught you to, as the brother Malcolm X would say, hate yourself. And they taught you to hate your very own root, Africa, Jerusalem, Israel, the land of our forefathers. See, in Ezekiel, the Most High restored the place of worship. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get back to that. But, brother, can you read verse? Well, let me say this in regards to verse 11 as well. When he says, we are cut off from our parts. What does that mean to you? What's your understanding of that? What have you been separated from? More importantly, who have you been separated from? Fathers had that we don't have today is the fact that they were able to see the Most High's majesty. They were able to see the Most High in his glory. Our ancestors were able to see King David when he brought the ark in, dancing and rejoicing before the Most High. Our ancestors were able to see the Most High, commune and speak with them, and join them to the covenant. Seeing the great mighty prophet Moshe lift up his rod, and the wind came from the east. What we call Kadim. See, that word east, when we started off in Ezekiel 43, and I know we started off a little slow, but that's okay. We're picking up pace now. Notice in Ezekiel 43, we see the word east various times. That is the place of the Most High. That's where he's coming from. That's where we have to orient ourselves. See, here in America, we taught to look for the north. That's a slave mentality because they were taught to look for the North Star. But the true people of Israel, we oriented ourselves based off the east. That's how far off we are. This is how serious the matter is in regards to Jerusalem, the city of YAH. Because if you're looking for the north and he's in the east, you way off. You way off. And we got to get ourselves back orientated. We got to get some direction. But what's our direction? You don't have to look for a man to come down out of heaven. You don't got to look for a man to come out the pit. The word is not thee. Let me read verse.
For you, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. What he's saying is, for our brothers and sisters out there, we are Hebrew Israelites. Understand that. Know this. Now, when we talk about our captivity, and we could go through the testimony to understand how we are to live. I want to show you 1 Kings 8, by where YAH says his name in Jerusalem. And then we want to go into the testimony where we're going to show you how Daniel prayed to the east, being in the Persian captivity. Like he said, we don't look toward no North Star. A true Israelite is always going to look toward home. You see what I'm saying? So when our people out here is trying to warn about a Roman Gregorian calendar and trying to count the days and talk about this is what time of month and day we in celebrate a holy day, you can't do that in your captivity. Again, Michael 2:10 said this is not your place of rest. He told you to come from here. So let me show you 1 Kings 8, and I think I'm going to start with 27 and show you where YAH says his name, and then I want to show you how Daniel prayed to the east in the Persian captivity.
You want to start at what verse, brother?
Let's go to let's start at in verse 26, and then we could stop at verse 32.
I got you. Verse 26, and it reads, "And now, Elohim of Yisrael, let thy word, I pray thee, be verified, which thou spakest unto thy servant David my father. But will Elohim indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded? Yet have thou respect unto the prayer of thy servant, and to his supplication, O YAH, my Elohim, thy servant prayeth before thee today, that thine eyes may be open toward this house night and day, even toward the place of which thou hast said, my name shall be there, that thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make toward this place, and hearken unto thy supplication, unto the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. If any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him and cause him to swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou in heaven and do, and judge thy servants, condemning the wicked to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous to give him according to his righteousness."
Give me one more verse. Give me 33.
"When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn to thee, and confess thy name, and pray, and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again into the land which thou gavest unto their fathers."
You see that? Israel, you in captivity. No matter how you want to see that, you going to work, doing the rightful thing, and trying to make ends meet for your family. Now you serving your captors. And we're going to get into Leviticus 26, 40-46 on now. But we understand this is how we pray. He said, pray to where he sets his name. You see what I'm saying? And that's to Jerusalem, your home. Now, I want to show you Daniel 6 and show you how Israel, a real Israelite, looks toward his home, not towards his captivity. We finna rock with Daniel 6 and 10.
I'm almost there, my brother. Give me 1 second. Daniel 6:10.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward YERUSHALEM. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his Elohim as he did aforetime.
This is you, Israel. This is you. For people who are waking up to identify themselves, to know who they are, Israel looks toward home. You don't pray toward your captors. You don't pray toward your captivity. If you are Israel and you understand what Israel does, this was a heritage that was given to our people, not no religion, because you're not going to find religion in this old covenant. You're not going to find Christianity in this old covenant. You're not even going to find JC in this old covenant. So we need to understand the formality of what's going on and try to understand why things are happening the way that it's happening. Israel, if you can't come together and get yourself right, hey, it's over for us. And it takes just one person, like he said. We got to come together as a whole. If you read Psalms 119, the law is what binds Israel to come together as a nation. And it takes one person to mess it up. If you read Numbers 16 and 22, he could tell you one person can persecute Israel, can condemn Israel. Look at the testimony of Achan, what he did when he stole from the Canaanite. And Yah said, I will not go with you up to fight against the Canaanite. Achan was killed before Yah could do anything. And this is how important it is for us to be amongst our God. We do have a God, whether you believe it or not. And then it's not Christ at all. So in order to understand what's going on right now, man, please try to get an understanding of this word. Try to identify who you are. And then understand why you was chosen and what you need to do in order to get back to your salvation. I wanted to read to him when he was talking about hope, because we do have hope. And this is why Yah say he have mercy on his people. He is allowing us to come back to him, to keep the laws. Now, if you read Isaiah 12, 1 through 6, they're going to tell you about your salvation. And there's only one person that could give you salvation. That's not Christ. Not at all. So understand, Israel prayed toward home. I'm cool, bro.
All right. I want to go back to Ezekiel 37.
Right with
you. And in verse 12, and we may have brought this up, but we're going to emphasize this. The Most High called the land of your captivities your graves.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Most High dwell in dead places? Is the dead clean or unclean? Is salvation truly in the land of your captor? Is liberation truly here? Absolutely not. The Most High said in verse 12 of Ezekiel 37, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Master Yah, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is a covenant with the land as well. For us to be in the land is the inheritance that was given to our forefathers.
Mm-hmm.
Is where we belong. Not in Kansas City, not in Iowa, not in New York, not in California, not in Trinidad, not in Haiti, not in North Carolina, but right in the land of Israel. Now, stay right there. 37. Brother, can you read verses 21 through 25?
Okay. It says, and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High Yah, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king in them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they be defiled themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgression. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places when they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be of my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them. And they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgment, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob, my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever, and my servant David shall be their prince forever.
Now listen to that. Listen to what the Most High is saying to his people. And notice, the land was the essential bond. The Most High didn't say he's giving the land to the Christian. He didn't say he was giving the land to the Messianic. He didn't say he was giving the land to the Tanakh only. He said he was giving the land to Israel. This is why this is important. This is why the focus is on the land. This is why the focus is on Jerusalem, because our king is going to rule in Jerusalem, the capital. And if you remember, if you go back and read further back in Ezekiel 37, the Most High joined the sticks together, Ephraim and Judah. Ephraim being the northern tribe Israel, who was also called his firstborn as well, and Judah. And the Most High says he's going to gather us from among the heathen. He's going to gather us on every side. He's going to bring us into our own land, where the Most High has written his name, the place where the Most High has sanctioned off, separated just for you, brother, sister, elder, just for you. And he says, and I will make them how many nations?
One nation.
In heaven. No, he says, in the land, upon the mountains of Israel. See, the problem has become that your captor has even taken away your desire to live. What am I saying? Your captors tried to dash your hopes, tried to dash them in pieces. But your hope is in the Most High. Your trust is in the Most High. The goal is Israel, not heaven, not some spiritual place, but a land. And how long did the Most High say he was going to dwell with the children of Israel in the land? He says forever. What's the proof of that? We'll be able to see the presence of the Most High. That's nothing for him to do. That is nothing for him to do. The Most High will make himself known to whom he will. But this won't be no spiritual thing. This will be a literal thing as far as I see it. And if there's any naysayers, please call in and show different. Because we are here to magnify the law and make it honorable.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to point you the direction you need to be looking. Not north, not south, not west, but east to the land. To the place where the Most High says, now let me read this again out of Ezekiel to pick up where we started at. In Ezekiel 43:7, it reads,
Ezekiel 43:7. It reads, and he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever, and my holy name shall be the house of Israel, no more defiled, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses of their kings in their high places.
Listen to that. The Most High said his presence, the soles of his feet. See, this is where the Most High's house is established at. And this is why problem with the New Testament. Because I want to show you guys, perhaps you've seen it, perhaps you haven't. I want to go to Revelation.
I got you.
And I want to, and brother, I know you hate to do this, but could you read verses 21 and 22?
In chapter 21, right?
Yes.
Okay. It says, in the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl, and the streets of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it.
Did you hear that? Did you read that?
That's garbage.
It says that he saw no temple therein. In my little King James version, they got a colon. So they want you to think about that. And I want you to think about that. Here in Ezekiel, we're reading about the temple being restored, the house of the Most High being reestablished in the earth. And here we got this particular person saying that there is no temple. So what's the proof of your salvation? And here it's going to sit up there and inject the Lamb and say that the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it? Well, that's not what we read in the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read something to you out of Zechariah.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that there ain't no Lamb and the Lord God Almighty. It's just YAH in his dwelling place. Let's read, this whole chapter is very important, but let's read 16 through 20.
In the first chapter?
No, Zechariah 14.
Zechariah 14. Oh.
Ty, you have any email questions or any callers on the line?
No, nothing at the time. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Okay. You said what verse in Zechariah 14?
16 through 20.
16 through 20. It says, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Whoa. Stop right there. Read that verse for us, please.
You want me to read it again, huh?
Yes, please.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem, that's us, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King of the Most High of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Listen to that. It didn't say the king and his son, the king and the lamb. It says to worship the king, YAH Sabaoth, the mighty one, the commander of the armies of heaven, of the hosts, of all that you can think of. It's the king that you should worship, and you're not going to be worshiping him in heaven. You're going to be coming to worship him in Jerusalem. Not China, not France, not Kentucky, but Jerusalem. Go ahead with verse 17. And wait before you go there.
Okay.
It also says to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Mm-hmm.
Think about something. The Feast of Tabernacles represents our liberation.
Oh.
It represents when we dwelled in booths.
Yep.
When we were free from our captors. When the Most High made known to everybody his salvation. The Most High don't have to do things in secret and rapture people in the middle of the night and all of this foolishness. When the Most High is ready to make a move, and the world will see it the world over, and the nations is going to be dismayed at what the nations is going to be trying to beat you to Jerusalem because they know they better stay in step. Keep going, brother. Verse 17.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Wait a minute. Again, it's saying that true liberation, true worship is done in Jerusalem in front of the King, who is YAH. And if you don't do these things, the Most High will not send rain upon the nations. See, this is how you know that the churches have lied to you. This is how you know Reverend so-and-so has been jiving you, telling you that you're going to go to heaven and everybody's going to walk around heaven all day. That's not what the Most High has said. It's mentioning nations, goyim. The various nations that will be here, the ones that's left, according to what the prophet has said here, the nations that got it together, they're going to come and worship the Most High in full obedience to the law. Keep going, brother.
Verse 18. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and a punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And in that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Most High, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the boughs before the altar.
Keep going. Read the last verse.
Ye, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Most High of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them and see their end. And in that day there shall be no more than the Canaanites and the house of the Most High of hosts. Selah. I'm going to have to come back in. My phone's going to go off.
Okay. The Most High is going to purge. The Most High is going to restore holiness in the earth. And the way he's going to do that is by, first of all, cleaning up Israel, removing all the detestable things, whether it be lying, whether it be cheating, whether it be stealing, whether it be killing, you name it, the Most High is going to clean it up. The Most High is going to purge us. And he's in the process of doing that right now. That's why the Torah has been left on record for you. That's why the prophets have been left on record for you. Understand this: the lands that our various people are living in. Sorry about that. The lands that our people are living in today is not your home. This is not the land that's promised to you. I'm here in Kansas City. This is not what the Most High has promised to me. But here's the thing. See, this is proof that the blessing and the curse go hand in hand. This is proof that the Most High, when he joined us also to the land.
There's some feedback. All right, it's good now.
He joined us. Sound good?
Yeah.
He joined us to this covenant. Let's go to Leviticus 26. How much time we got left, brother?
We got like about half an hour left. About 40 minutes left.
Okay, cool. I want to go to Leviticus chapter 26.
I'm there.
Okay. Let's start at, let's see here. Where do I want to start? This is such an excellent chapter. Let's start at, I don't know where to start, where I want to start here.
All right, while you're doing that, let me just make an announcement once again, y'all. If you got any questions or comments, I see we got a lot of people on the phone lines. The number is 319-527-6239. Press number 1 if you have any questions or comments. Also have my email open. That's debatetalk4, letter U at gmail.com. For those who don't want to call in but still have questions, the email, once again, debatetalk4, debatetalk, the number 4, letter U at gmail.com. Somebody press number 1. All right. So we got somebody standing by with a question or a comment. Are you ready for that now?
Go ahead and bring them in.
All right. So stand by. 3, 2, 3. You're live in there. Okay.
Hey, Shalom. It's Amayan.
Shalom, brother.
Hey,
How are you?
Shalom. My question is, do you think that the brothers in the Renewed Testament, do you think they was quoting from an earlier version of the Tanakh than the Masoretic text? The reason why you're not seeing certain things that they're saying that they're getting from the Tanakh, but you're not seeing it in the Masoretic text, but you see them quoting these things from, they saying from the Tanakh, and you saying like, where are they getting this from? Is it possible that they could be quoting an earlier version of the Tanakh and not the one that you guys are reading from today?
Particular verse that you have in mind, sir?
Yeah, I mean, there's many verses that I'm asking the question. I'm asking you, do you think that, is it possible, first of all, do you think they can be quoting from an earlier version that you're not reading from, the reason why they're saying certain things? Is that possible? I'm saying first.
Well, I mean, you're being kind of vague with your question. I mean, there's changes there's like in the Hebrews, when they quote Psalms 40, they don't quote it exact.
Right, so I'm saying, so like, right, like for instance, right, Psalms 40. In Psalms 40, when you go back into the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Masoretic text, it shows there that it says, "You prepared me a body," right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
when you look in the Renewed Testament, it says the same thing. It says, Paul is saying that you prepared me a body, but when you look in the Masoretic text, you don't see that there. but when you go into an earlier version, we see that these things are there. So it's clear that certain things was taken out of the Masoretic text, according to what you find in the Dead Sea Scrolls and in the Septuagint. And so it's clear from that instant that they was quoting something earlier, and they was not actually quoting from the Masoretic text.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Is that true?
I'm listening, brother. I'm trying, because I'm sitting here I'm looking at Psalms 40 right here. And
right.
It doesn't mention anything about a body.
Well, I'm saying, have you looked at Psalms 40 in the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Septuagint?
We can, but tonight, brother, the conversation is about Jerusalem. We're not talking about the Masoretic or the Septuagint or the Dead Sea Scrolls. Is there something that you would like to say in particular to the lesson tonight?
Well, the reason why I brought it up because I heard you went to Revelations and you said that he's reading and said he don't see no temple there. You know what I'm saying? He don't see no temple there. So you brought up that he's saying stuff that it ain't there. But so you're saying that you're saying that it's there in the your Old Testament. You're reading about it, but you're saying that he's saying that there isn't one. So I'm saying, is it possible that they can be quoting from something that you do not have? Why you don't see it?
Well, do you have it, brother? Can you correct us here on Revelation 21 and 22? Because I'm clearly reading what John the Revelator wrote down for you.
But that's why I want to just first establish to see. I'm trying to see from you. Just is it because the point is I think is that I don't think you're looking at it like these brothers was reading something earlier and it's where they're getting it from. And I think that's where the disconnect is coming in from. That if you would take your time and go look at the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Masoretic text and study those, you can see not only what he's saying in Revelation, but you will see all the other stuff that you're not seeing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can sit here and point out one thing, but there's much more you need to see for yourself. You know what I'm saying? One
yes,
thing
sir.
is just one thing, but there's so much more you need to see, and we can't cover all that tonight. I'm just saying that I think that you should go and study those two texts, and then when you finish studying them, I guarantee you would see what he's saying in Revelations and what Paul is saying and what Christ is saying, what they're all saying. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm calling up to really say is that there's information out here that you're not privy to. I think you need to go ahead and look at.
Can I make a suggestion? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, check this out. You trying to tell us to go read the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint or something that I don't know if you say that's heard of, right? And that's why y'all says beware of many books because it make you weary. And that's in Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. So when we read according to the text, according to thus saith the Most High, right? Now, check out Exodus 26, and we see how Yah told the Levites to build the temple. And this was a physical temple. This wasn't nothing figurative. This was something literal. You see what I'm saying? So for you to come and say, anyway, go about the Masoretic text, that don't got nothing to do with that. That's from the Israeli, because when you talk about anything with Masoretic, Aleppo, and Leningrad, that's from the white man. That don't got nothing to do with us. So why is you, as a Hebrew Israelite, reading a Masoretic text that was created from the white man? You're supposed to be reading nothing but thus saith the Lord. So how is you really soul searching and talking about Christ, and you trying to imply that, okay, there's a figurative temple, and Yah has always said he will dwell in the tabernacle, a literal place. Now, you explain that to me. You explain Exodus 26 through 28 to me about a physical temple and not the figurative. Since you want to talk about a Masoretic text, that's not our book.
Everybody knows that's what you're reading from. Your Old Testament and your Tanakh is the Masoretic text in English. That's what you're reading right now.
That's not a Masoretic text. Don't lie like that.
But
Okay,
hold on, give me 1 second, my brother, because I want to speak with you in regards to your question.
Go ahead. I'm done. I'm cool.
What? Okay. In Revelation 21, because you brought it up, and I'll be happy to deal with you on it briefly. In Revelation 21 and 22, what should I be seeing that's not there?
You brought it up and said he saw no temple, right?
That's what he got right here, brother. That's what I'm reading. And I saw no temple therein for the Lord God Almighty. All I'm saying to you is that
there is a text that they was quoting from, not the one that you're reading, the Masoretic text. Because that's clearly what you're reading from. I know you know this. We might not know, but I know you know that you guys are reading from the Masoretic text translated into English. That's what you're reading. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you brought up Psalms 40, you said you don't see nobody in there, but we can go into a manuscript over 1,000 years more or so before in the Dead Sea Scroll of Psalms, and we see it. You know what I'm saying? I can go on. Hello?
Yeah, you here, brother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please continue.
Yeah, I'm saying I can go and I can quote many different places where it says in Dead Sea Scrolls in the Septuagint where you're not going to see in your modern Masoretic text translated into English. You're not going to see these things. You know what I'm saying? And also when you don't see it, you're assuming that they're making it up. So I'm saying brother, we know that
here's the
go
thing,
ahead, brother.
Here's the thing, and here's what I'm trying to emphasize. And I'm glad that you called in, and I appreciate you calling. But in the prophet Ezekiel, we see the temple literally there. Okay? This is what this man said will be restored. Here in Revelation, according to the revelation of the Christ of the New Testament, John says he saw no temple. Now, what do that have to do with anything that we're speaking of? Explain to me where the temple went. Where did it go? That's what I need you to tell. That's what I need you to share with the people tonight. Where did the temple go that we see in Ezekiel, and how come the Revelation is gone?
Okay, the Revelations, according to the Revelations that you're reading there, who does that come from?
It didn't come. It came from the Christ of the New Testament. It definitely didn't come from the Most High.
Well, then see that's the problem, because it clearly tells you that Christ got that from God. God gave that to Christ. That comes from the Most High, according to the text that you're reading. That's what it says. So you don't believe what it says there. Then
I absolutely don't believe that there's no temple.
That'd be my point. My point would be you're reading something that you don't believe even comes from God. So it doesn't really matter what I would explain to you. You weren't going to believe it anyway because you don't believe it comes from God in the first place.
Okay, brother. But what does that have to do with the fact that this man said that there's no temple? Explain that to the people.
I'm telling you is that he's explaining to you what he got from Christ, what Christ got from God. If you believe in God and you believe that he's saying what he got from God, then either you believe what he's saying or you're saying that God is lying because he's reporting what he got from Christ, who got from God. That's all he's saying.
Okay.
You believe what the prophets told you in the Old Testament. If the prophets in the Old Testament, Jeremiah says, "Thus saith the Lord," you believe that Jeremiah got that from God. I mean, you wasn't there to know for a fact, but you believe Jeremiah is reporting it from God as he's writing it. You believe that, right? Because you wasn't there.
But brother, what does that have to do with Revelation 21 and 22? You dancing around that.
It goes back into belief. It goes back to same thing what you stand on. It goes back into faith. I believe that he was writing what he got from Christ, who got it from God. That's what I believe. Like you believe that Jeremiah got that from God.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is this, brother. What we reading in Ezekiel, what we reading in Isaiah, what we reading in Jeremiah, okay, what we see throughout the prophets, they all mention that the Most High is going to dwell with his people forever. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Most High put his name in Jerusalem. We will build a house for the Most High. But here in Revelation, all of a sudden, the apostle, John, the beloved apostle of the Christ of the New Testament, said he saw no temple. Now, I showed you in Zechariah 14 where it says that the nations are coming to Jerusalem in the presence of the King, the Most High, not his son, the Christ of the New Testament, and it don't mention the fact that there's no temple. So we got two different opinions here. Now, either you know something that the Most High don't know, and you need to share it with us, or the writer of Revelation has clearly, and I hate to use the word, lied.
Okay, the Hebrew word that's translated forever, olam, does that word literally mean forever, or can that be translated as something that without a specific duration or specific end? Because you can see that word translated from the Torah, where it talks about a servant, where it says if you bore his heir, if you bore his hair with an awl, it says he shall be your servant forever, right? But now we know a fact that servant, he ain't going to serve you forever. He's going to serve to until he die. But the word forever is there. But the word forever is there used. So, but we know that when you see that word forever, you have to go ahead and read it in context. It doesn't actually mean forever and ever and ever and ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible that when you're reading I should dwell with them forever, it could not literally mean forever and ever and ever. You got to get the whole context of what he's saying, because we see the Most High at some point, he wanted to dwell with Israel in the wilderness, and then because they're making a calf, he didn't dwell with them. You know what I'm saying? So it could be possible he's saying, well, I'm going to dwell with them for a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to leave.
My brother, now let's stop there for a minute. Sal, you don't have no other callers right now, do you? Have anybody else hanging on?
Nah, nobody else is pressing number one. But again, if you guys have any questions, that number is 319-527-6239. Press number one if you have any questions. You can continue.
Can we keep? Okay, thanks. Now, I don't like to be a repeater, okay? But I want to do this since we got some time, and it's me and you and we. In Jeremiah 33, there's a covenant made with Levi and David, right? Hello? Amayan?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
That's you, Amayan, or we?
I'm here. Go ahead. I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, Jim. Thank you. And it says that the Levites shall never lack a man to make sacrifices. The Most High said never. He also used the sun and the moon as a witness. Now, that should tell you that them two families are going to rule in Jerusalem and instruct, and that there will be a temple. Now, we jump here to Revelation, and not only in Revelation, throughout the Gospel, the Christ of the New Testament says that he's the temple, and this Christ of the New Testament, he was so bold that even when he died, there was a great earthquake, and it tore the veil of the temple. So now you got this particular person here in Revelation 21:22 saying that he saw no temple, when we know that the temple is the sign of our liberation. The Most High has always wanted to dwell with Israel, and even though we did do the golden calf in the wilderness, even after that we still built the tabernacle. The Levites still carried the holy vessels. When David came in the land, he set aside a place that the Most High could be worshipped. Solomon built the house. Ezra and Nehemiah reestablished this house. So why is it now, when we get to the New Testament, the temple don't mean nothing? And they so bold as to say they saw no temple, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. There's a problem there.
Okay.
And I need you to explain that to me. Don't talk about nothing else, no Hebrew and all of that. We talking about Revelation 21:22.
Okay, you first went to Jeremiah and you reference about the Levites. Now,
yes,
when you come to the book of Ezekiel, it talks about the prince. This prince is going to be making the sacrifices to the Most High. He's going to take over the high priest role from the Levites. They're still going to be ministering to the Lord, but the high priesthood itself is going to be transferred to this man here who's referencing in Ezekiel as the prince. He's the one who's going to be making the sacrifice. I'm going to read it in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 46, and I want to read verse 4. Okay, it says, "And the burnt offerings that the prince shall offer unto the Lord in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish and a ram without blemish." Okay, so this person here is now offering, he's now taking the priestly role. When you read all the places in Ezekiel about this prince, and he talks about princes too, not only just one, but there's a prince who's operating in the temple, and he's the one who's going to be the high priest. From what you read about the places in here, clearly this prince, nowhere does it say that this man is from the tribe of Levi. It speaks of David himself as being a prince, and we know he's from the tribe of Judah. Okay, so if you link that with, if you link the prince, for instance, if you link it with David, you would now be saying that the high priesthood Levi lost. It's now been given to the tribe of Judah. A Judite is now officiating as the high priest, according to what Ezekiel is saying here. Okay, so we see that Ezekiel lost the high priesthood. They still priests, but they lost the high priesthood to another tribe, right? I want to start there.
I want to stop you there. I want to stop you there because you just bore false witness. Ezekiel 46. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4 so we can get the proper context, because what you're doing is you're trying to make a way for the Christ of the New Testament. You're trying to inject him in some place that he's not, and then you're also trying to do away with the.
I never brought him up, bro.
Wait a minute. Listen, because you just said he was a high priest, and you just said that this man made an offering. But let's read. Why don't you read the first 3 verses and then tell me if you see this same prince making an offering?
Kyrie from Kolayah.
Hold on a second. I want him to read chapter 46, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, chapter 40, Ezekiel 46, verse 1, 2, 3. Thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. And the prince shall enter in the way of the porch of the gate without, and shall stand by the posts of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offering, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate, at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Lord in the Sabbath and in the new moons.
Go ahead and read your verse 4 that you wanted to put in there. Go ahead, brother. Read that.
Okay. And the burnt offering that the prince shall offer unto the Lord in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish and a ram without blemish.
So, brother, clearly the prince is giving his sacrifices to the priest. He's not doing anything at the altar of the Most High. And if you know the law, you know that only the Kohanim made sacrifice on the altar. So we're not going to let you come in here and try to bring in some false teaching about some Melchizedek order that's higher than the Levitical priesthood operating in the temple, when we know for a fact that there's a perpetual, everlasting covenant with the house of Levi to do that, not some king that's a priest and a so-called Levite that can be a high priest. Now, you need to stop with that.
Okay, now I'm gonna now.
With the scripture.
Can I read that right now?
No, can I? Let me respond. Let me respond to what he's saying because I'm about to show you right now that what he's saying is false. I'm showing you that he doesn't know the book of Ezekiel. I'm gonna read it right now for you. That he's saying that this prince here is giving his offering. He says to the Levites. I'm about to show you that you're wrong right now. That you're not reading Ezekiel correctly. I'm about to prove you wrong right now. Okay. The first part I read in here in the 46th chapter, verse 2 first prove you wrong because it says right here, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate without. So he's entering into the temple. He's not outside. He's not inside of the temple. Okay. Now, I'm going to read another place for you, Moses Priest, how he's inside of this temple. I'm going to read Ezekiel 44 for you. I'm going to go read verse 1, 2, 3 about this prince here again, so you can establish where he is, that he's not giving it to the Levites and they offering it. He's inside the temple himself, and he's doing it. Ezekiel chapter 44, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. Then said Yahweh unto me, this gate shall be shut, it shall not be open, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Lord God of Israel hath entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut. It is for the prince. The prince he shall sit it to eat bread before the Lord. We know that that's talking about the showbread, which is inside the holy place, which is before the holies of holies. The prince is in there sitting it before the Lord. It's where he's eating the bread. The prince is doing that. He's in there with the Lord. Okay? He goes on to say, he shall sit it in to eat bread before the Lord. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. So we see this prince, he's inside of the holy place. He's not giving his offering to the Levites and they're doing it. He's doing it himself.
Let me read this.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, Jeremiah 33, start at 17, and I'm going to read 18. It says, for thus saith the Most High, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel, neither shall the priest, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings and to kindle meat offering and to do sacrifice continually. You explain that.
And by the way, family, we have like 15 more minutes in the air, y'all. For that. All right.
Okay, well, I'm reading what it says in Ezekiel, which I know you believe what Ezekiel is saying. I'm reading where it clearly here it's stating that there is a prince who is obviously operating as the high priest.
Trying to explain Jeremiah 33 and 18. I ask you, explain that verse. Why is it the Most High is saying that the Levites should never want a man to offer burnt offering?
That's what it's saying there. They don't want a man, a human being, to offer sacrifices unto the Most High. Speaking of the high priesthood, that's why I'm giving you what I understand. Okay, I'm giving you what I understand. From reading from brother, can I?
Not. And he telling you in Ezekiel 44 and 15, he said, Zadok shall minister unto me, since you want to go in Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel 44 and 15. Straight up. Let's go there. Why is he saying this? Ezekiel 44 and 15. But the priests, the Levites, the son of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith the Most High YAH. Now, you want to go there, let's go. We'll go to 1 Samuel in a second, and you go to 31 through 36 and eat this up, dude. He's telling you the Levites is coming back. I know JC going to call this up being a priest or a king. The covenant is now with Zadok. So let's not get this twisted, man. Let's not get this twisted. We ain't playing games with this.
Let me hold up, brother. Let me read it for you then. I'll read it for you at Ezekiel. I'll read it for you right here. And after I read this, and you explain to me when I read this, I'm in Ezekiel chapter 44, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. Ezekiel 44. I'm gonna read verse 10. I'm gonna read on down to verse 13. I can read more, but I'm gonna read on down to verse 13. It says, "And the Levites that are gone away from me when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, they shall even bear their iniquity. Yet there shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having charge at the gates of the house, and ministering to the house. They shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister to them. Because they ministered unto them before their idols, and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity, therefore have I lifted up my hand against them, saith the Lord God, and they shall bear their iniquity, and they shall not come near unto me to do the office of a priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place. But they shall bear their shame and their abominations they shall have continually." So right here, he's saying that the Levites
keep going.
are not.
Reading.
Let me finish, bro. You can't be cutting me off.
Keep reading.
Okay, I'll keep reading, bro. "But I will make them keepers of the charge of the house for all the service thereof, and of all and all that shall be done therein." Tell me when you want me to stop, bro. Okay?
Go ahead.
Because you have no respect at all. I'm trying to explain to you clearly here. Clearly, verse 13 is cutting you off. It's chopping your head off because it's saying that they shall not come to me before in the most holy place. They're not doing that high priest office anymore. This is what it is saying right there in verse 13.
Okay, and just to let you know, we got a caller behind you right now, Amiyan. So you're gonna have to probably say some last words. We gotta get to the next caller. We only got a few minutes left, though. But read how you can respond.
Okay, let me tell you what this brother just did. He went and cut off the scripture, the chapter, right? Now, when we look up in here, we seeing that, okay, due to what the Levites did in 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter, of Hophni and Phinehas, when they did all the abominable things and the idols, sex and everything up in a temple, right? This was the reason why they was cut off, and they said they did partial of the law, right? Let me show you 1 Samuel 2:31. Since this brother won't sit up here and lie like that. He told you partial of what's taking place. He didn't tell you the complete truth of everything was happening. I just want to read 1 Samuel, and I'm going to go to 2, the 2nd chapter, and I'm going to read 31. And they're going to explain what the Levites did, and then watch what he say continually. It says, "Behold, the days come that I will cut off thy arm in the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thy house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, and all the wealth which YAH shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thy house forever, and the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from my altar shall be to consume thy eyes, to grieve thy heart, and to all the increase of thy house shall die, and the flower of their age. And this shall be a sign unto thee, that shall come upon thy 2 sons on Hophni and Phinehas, and one day they shall die, both of them." This is what they did. And then verse 35, he said, "And I will raise me up a faithful priest," which what we just heard up in Ezekiel 44:15, saying that Zadok kept the laws even in the captivity. "Raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind, and I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before my anointed forever." We're talking about King David. We're talking about, "And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thy house shall come and cry to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's office, that I may eat a piece of bread. You are lying on the word.
Next call.
I let Amayan respond. We got another caller standing by. I'm gonna let you guys, of course, respond after. We got to get this other caller. Amayan, you can go ahead and last words.
All right, thank you, Sal. Clearly, when I read Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 13, read it again right quick. And this is speaking of the Levites. It says, "And they shall not come near unto me to do the office of the priests unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place. But they shall bear their shame and the abominations which they have committed." So he's speaking of them this is speaking of the high priest office. I know he's speaking of going back into Zadok, but I'm saying here that he's speaking to them, they're going to be officiating inside the temple, but of the going inside of the most holy place, these things, that thing that the high priest was over, they're not doing that anymore. It's of somebody else. That's why I read about the prince. He's the one coming in when the Most High go in, and the door is shut. No man can come in, but this prince is in there. He's the one offering the stuff to the Most High, and I don't have enough time, but I can go through Ezekiel and show you that this prince is the one coming in one way and going out the other way, and this prince is not from the house of Levi, but he's in there,
Sir.
and he doesn't want to acknowledge that fact, because he cannot show us anyway that this prince here in Ezekiel is of the house of Levi. He isn't. But we see princes speaking of in Ezekiel earlier in 36th chapter, 34th chapter, that it being David, him being from the tribe of Judah. Okay? So we see that the high priesthood is being taken over by a different tribe. That's all the point I'm trying to make right here, and I'll leave it there.
No, sir. No, sir. Go ahead, Salah, with the next caller. But listeners, Amayan completely went against the scriptures. Malachi 2 says that the priests are the messengers of his covenant, not Judah. Next caller.
All right, let me get the next caller real quick again. That number is 319-527-6239. Simply press number 1. If you got a quick question or comment, let's go. Let's go to 980-494. You're live. Go ahead.
Shalom, family.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom, brother.
This Askia. What's going on?
King.
Shalom.
What's going on? What's up, family? How y'all doing? Hey, I was listening in to what the whole thing is, what they were doing, and I was trying to figure out, was he saying that the prince himself was going to give is he going to be sacrificing, or is he going to prepare an offering? Yeah, I was kind of, because it says he's going to prepare an offering. So like that means that, you know what I'm saying, whenever you go into, you know what I'm saying, like whenever you go into your herd, your flock, right? We had to, right. You know what I'm saying, the law, we had to, when the priest was doing, you know what I'm saying, this stuff, we might have to hold our lamb, you know what I'm saying, while they cut it. We might have to, you know what I'm saying, so that was part of the preparation.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So part of the preparation was us bringing the animal, holding the animal, you know what I'm saying, while the bloodletting is happening. And of course, Ouidah, you pulled out a scripture. Well, y'all was talking about, I think it was in Ezekiel 37. You know what I'm saying? We know that prince that he's talking about that's entering in, that's David. Right? We already know because it said, because that's what it says. That's going to be the prince. So, but also that he's preparing an offering. Now they have to show me where it says that, and he will, you know what I'm saying, he will be doing an offering on the, you know what I'm saying, on the altar.
Here's the thing. My brother. They can't produce that. The only thing that they could do was try to inject this person as a king and high priest. And I want to read something for you, dear brother, that we often share with one another when we do our study together. I'm going to read
Right.
from Ezekiel 44:15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister to me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood. This is what Rita read. Saith the Master Yah.
Right.
They shall
That's right.
enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. What part of that
Right.
don't the people understand? Nobody from no other tribe is going to stand and call themselves the high priest in the sanctuary of the Most High. If you don't believe me, listeners, please read 2 Chronicles 26 and see what happened to a king of Judah when he got out of place.
Can I go down? Can I go down?
Yeah, it's
Let me
always,
go down.
yeah, and it's always been
Go
a
ahead.
two-tier system where we had the high priest and we had the king. You know, that's we've had that two-tier system, and you know what I'm saying, it's not the first time a king has offered a sacrifice. Kings have offered sacrifices, but they, you know what I'm saying, they have to, when they, even if you go to Leviticus, right? You go to Leviticus 1, and it says, if any man shall offer a sacrifice, does that mean that, you know what I'm saying, I'm burning it, or is it the priest doing it?
Mm-hmm. That's a great
Let's let
question.
y'all know we have 8 minutes left, y'all. 8 minutes left in the air.
Can I get one in right past with you? Right.
Yes.
Got it,
Is
brother.
that cool? Okay, check this out, right? And I just want to elaborate because we talking about a latter-day prophecy, right? And we already know that Yah said he's going to restore everything as it was before. From Isaiah 1 and 26, Lamentations 5 and 21, to Amos 9 and 13, we know Yah is going to restore everything as he said that was from the beginning, right? So I want to go up into this Ezekiel 43, and I'm going to want to read 19 through 27 to show you that the Levites, the priesthood, is giving this offering. So let's go on. He said, and thou shalt give to the priests, the Levites that be of the seed of Zadok, which approach unto me to minister unto me, saith the Most High Yah, a young bullock for a sin offering. And thou shalt take of the blood of thereof and put it on the four horns of it, and on the four corners of the settle, and upon the borders round about. Thou shalt cleanse and purge it. Thou shalt take the bullock also the sin offering, he shall burn of it in the appointed place of the house without the sanctuary. And on the second day thou shalt offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with the bullock. When thou hast made an end of the cleansing, thou shalt offer a young bullock without blemish, and a ram out of the flock without blemish. And thou shalt offer them before the Most High, and a priest shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them up for a burnt offering unto the Most High. 7 days shalt thou prepare every day a goat for a sin offering. They shall also prepare a young bullock and a ram out of the flock without blemish. 7 days shall they purge, alter, and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and so forth, the priest shall make your burnt offering upon the altar and your peace offerings, and I will accept you, saith the Most High Yah. Proving in the latter days that the Levites will return and make an offering, a peace offering, that we will be accepted amongst our God again. Amayan. Thank you.
All right, so we only got a few minutes left, family. We only got a few minutes left. I might as well promote the debate since we're doing all of this. You got a team debate coming up, family. You got a team debate going down. It's happening May 29th. That's Friday, May 29th. Actually, the gentleman that's on the panel right now, Kolayah Ouidah, is going to be debating Brother YAH and Amayan. And the topic is, can Yeshua legitimately sit on the throne of David? Can Yeshua legitimately sit on the throne of David? That is the topic. Team debate going down. Make sure you tune in. All right, gentlemen, get some last words in. Go ahead.
All right, brothers. Tonight, focus was on the city of YAH, Jerusalem. And I want to leave you with a scripture from the Scriptures of Truth, Psalms 125, verses 1 and 2. They that trust in Yah shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so Yah is round about his people from henceforth, even forever. I want to give all thanks and praise to the King, to the Creator of the heaven and earth for this opportunity. I would ask that my brothers and sisters would listen to this lesson diligently, and that we would begin to look towards Jerusalem, to the place where we belong. Shalom, and may the Most High keep you and bless you.
Shalom.
All right. Appreciate you, brothers, for coming on the platform. Always check the description box, y'all. If you want to reach out to anybody that's on the panel, you can go to the description box on YouTube or on Blog Talk Radio. Go to the description box. Reach out to any of the special guests on the platform. You can support the brand. You get a donation. You can buy some merchandise for the Debate Talk View merchandise. Just check the description box. You'll see all the content right there. So we appreciate the family. Make sure you tune in once again. We're going to be back on the air on Wednesday. We're not going to have a show tomorrow, but Wednesday we'll be back on the air. Make sure you keep it locked right here on Debate Talk View Radio. Take care, and God bless.